Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Last time on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we had JoJo versus the Ultimate Life Form, where JoJo faced Sanviento. It was a pretty interesting fight, all things considered, and the method of trying to kill him was ultimately to get him in the sunlight, and JoJo also had some help from von Stroheim, and yeah, it was starting to work. Then Sanviento leapt into von Stroheim through his amputated leg, and then von Stroheim told JoJo that there are actually other Pillar Men around the world, and that he would need to go to Rome to get actual Hamon training. And then he blew himself up, unleashing Sanviento into the sunlight, upon which JoJo was able to beat him, and that was that. So, yeah, that is pretty much that. I suppose we should go ahead and get right into this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Here we go. Rome! Yay!
And then you will have no choice but to fall to my passion.
You've got to be kidding! This guy is making me sick! Disgusting!
What the fuck is happening?
I have an idea.
Oh.
That was Hamon! Yes,
Oh.
I'm sure of it!
He uses Hamon too.
But there is a phone call from a Mr. Speedwagon, Mr. Caesar Zeppeli.
Mamma mia, I will be right
Caesar Zeppeli?
What the? That spaghetti-brained womanizer is the Caesar Zeppeli we came all the way here to find?
Oh no. Oh no! He's a Zeppeli! I guess that makes sense. Go to Rome. Zeppeli was Italian. Meanwhile, in DC.
It was absorbed into the stone! Sanviento still isn't dead! His body is defending itself somehow!
Inspect them carefully.
The horns! They all have different types of horns! So if the
Okay.
one on the bottom is supposed to be Sanviento, then who are the others?
According, their faces are stacked vertically in this picture. Speaking historically, I would theorize that this indicates status or rank among the three Pillar Men.
Okay. so
JoJo
there's
and
two
I are
others.
headed to Rome.
My grandfather died tragically 50 years ago. My father then took up his torch and
So-
spent his life hunting the mask. We Italians have the strongest familial bonds of any
Yeah,
culture
he did
in
say
the
he
world.
had a family.
And I'm disappointed to say that his Hamon skills leave much to be desired. His Hamon is weak. It's worthless. His defeat of the Pillar Man was nothing but blind luck. I won't be forced to work with this imbecile.
Caesar, just relax.
This is
for a
very
moment.
different
JoJo
from
is still trading.
Baron Zeppeli and Jonathan.
We're done with the nicety.
Damn, he really gets all the girls.
Are you gonna fight me or not? If there's any mocking to be done here, I'll take care of it. Thank you kindly.
Oh. Whoa. Damn.
Must not intervene here. This will be a good lesson for JoJo. Overcoming this will only make him stronger.
Let him prove himself. Oh! Damn, she is really good. Oh, damn. Easy
What
there,
did I
animators.
My grandfather might still be alive if your grandfather hadn't got in his way. I refuse to accept your kind, your pathetic blood.
Oh, come on.
Enough. You've crossed the line now.
Stop.
Yeah,
I've got
now you're
this.
disrespecting Jonathan.
My Hamon bomber launcher! It's important to keep oneself clean. I myself have a thin layer of soap on my clothes at all times. You're looking a little dirty yourself there!
Okay.
Joestar!
Oh! Oh! Damn. Surprise pigeons.
Woman was throttling me.
How's the beauty? Huh? Now don't be embarrassed you have a girlfriend back home.
Well, she's... actually, the truth is... I'll be going home next week so we can finally get married.
Well, he's dead.
Really? Mamma mia! Congratulations, Mark! I was his wingman when he picked her up, you know. He was so nervous.
Watch the road.
Heartwarming. Perhaps they're all too busy washing their hair, eh?
Where does this pompous ass get off talking to me like that? Once I develop my own killer technique, I'll show him a thing or two, or three.
Well, 3.
Once we cut this pillar out, we'll have to seal it so that it will never see the light of day again.
But don't you want it to see the light of day so it'll be destroyed?
But it might. Do you hear that?
Oh!
He's supposed to be petrified!
Uh-oh.
He's making up!
He's awake.
Quickly!
Oh. Well, that didn't work.
This can't be happening! He's blocking out the lights with the blood of my own men!
Ugh. Well, there's number 2. Oh, he's fast. He's different from San Viento. Oh. 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 Well.
Now is the time! Awaken, my masters!
Backups. Oh, there's multiples.
We don't know what's out there!
Ugh.
What is that?
I can't believe it! They're alive!
Run away, Mark! Get out of there now!
No, Mark. He was gonna get married next week.
The stone is the last piece we need in order to complete the mask. Then we will unleash its power.
Of course, Master ACDC. However, the human world has
AC/DC?
changed much over
Come
the
on.
years that we slumbered.
Oh.
Stay your hand, ACDC.
I apologize, Lord Cars.
Okay.
Of course. It had slipped my mind that you possess a reflexive attack against anyone who dares to walk across the depths of your shadow. It has been 2,000 years after all.
I have offended you, my lord.
I'm so scared. I couldn't feel anything at first, but now the pain.
How he's functioning with half of his body, I don't know.
Mark, give her my love, Caesar.
Aw. Poor Mark.
And they killed him. Now they die!
Ugh.
Caesar! Don't you dare get in my way, JoJo!
No,
I'm
you need to work
going
together.
kill every second of this! This is personal! I'll destroy these things myself!
Oh, no. Oh, God. New credits music there. Woof. Crazy episode, definitely. Okay. These names. Come on, guys. Wamu, Cars, and AC/DC. Alright, AC/DC I get because, you know, it's part of the joke, but I don't understand Cars and Wamu. Y'all are gonna have to explain that one to me. Alrighty, so technically we have 3 Pillar Men now. 3 new Pillar Men. Which is pretty crazy. Yeah. Now, they did say there's 2 pillars, right? There's 2 other pillars, but this pillar had 3 men. That's interesting. We can go ahead and pop right into the notes on this one. The first thing I wrote down was Caesar Zeppeli, the grandson of Baron Zeppeli, which is interesting. Makes sense because, you know, Baron Zeppeli did say that he used to have a family before he started to... before the whole shipwreck accident and, you know, learning Hamon. So after his death, his son then started learning Hamon as well and passed it on to his son, Caesar Zeppeli. I do like that. That is kind of nice. That's pretty cool to have Baron Zeppeli's grandson, and it would make sense if this is going to be JoJo's Hamon coach. It makes sense because Baron Zeppeli was Jonathan's master, so that's pretty cool. But they definitely don't get along. Caesar and Joseph don't get along the way Baron Zeppeli and Jonathan did. You know, because that's the thing. And I will say, like, you know, it makes sense him not liking Joseph. It makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. You know, you gotta train him and stuff. And with him saying, like, oh, well, your Hamon is terrible and stuff. It's like, yeah, but he has to learn. That's the thing. Jonathan had to learn, and he did, you know? You have to actually teach this stuff. So, yeah, that's the only thing where it's like, come on, man. He needs to learn, you know? Now, when he said, what did he say about, he said something about Jonathan. Let me get back there. Turn the subtitles on.
That's not fair, Caesar. JoJo didn't know anything because I kept it all a secret from him.
I don't think that's any excuse. I heard about Strezzo, and I was impressed to find out that he fought one of the Pillar Men. But I wanted to see for myself how tough he was, so I waited at the hotel. And I'm disappointed to say that his Hamon skills leave much to be desired.
Train.
It's worthless. His defeat of the Pillar Man was nothing but blind luck. Oh, I won't be forced to work with this imbecile.
Caesar, just relax for a moment. JoJo is still training.
We're done with the niceties here. Oh yeah, well you're not.
Ask Veen here. This will be a good lesson.
What did I tell you? My grandfather might still be alive if your grandfather hadn't got in his way.
See, that's where I lose respect for Caesar Zeppeli. Like, okay, I understand, you know, being disappointed in Joseph, but when you start to disrespect Jonathan, you're out, you know? Because that was the whole thing. If he actually knew anything... The thing is, he doesn't actually know anything about Baron Zeppeli because he didn't meet him. His dad didn't really know about him, you know, until after his death. So that's the thing, is that, you know, the reason Baron Zeppeli died was because he trained JoJo. You know, he trained Jonathan. And it was his fate to die saving Jonathan, helping him in his fight. So that's the thing, you know, saying that, oh, well, you know, he could have won if Jonathan hadn't gotten in the way. It's like, okay, I'm losing respect because you cannot diss Jonathan Joestar like that, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he'll win me back over, but it's a bit of a rough start with Caesar Zeppeli. So, yeah. But again, I do like that he is a Zeppeli, and it is, you know, it is interesting that he clashes with, it is interesting that he clashes with, Joseph. You know, it makes it interesting. So, I do like that. I wrote down the two pillars. So, yeah, there are specifically two other pillar men, basically. Right? Isn't that what they were saying? Because they talked about the other pillars, you know, with the three heads.
The Germans have uncovered another pillar at an undisclosed location somewhere on the European continent.
Oh, is that true?
Their faces are stacked vertically in this picture. Speaking historically, I would theorize that this indicates status or rank among the three pillar men. JoJo and I are headed to Rome. Inspect them carefully.
We are to understand him fully.
Oh. See those? Those pictures were taken in the cave where we originally found San Vieto. Inspect them carefully.
Okay.
The horns! They all have different types of horns! So if the one on the bottom is supposed to be San Viento, then who are the others?
According to von Stroheim, the Germans have uncovered another pillar at an
Okay, so there should be 2 other pillar men, but that's with the assumption that of the 3 faces stacked, the one at the bottom is San Viento. But it seems like that one is actually Wamu. And this is just one of the other pillars, which they showed a 4th image there, but then they focused on the 3 heads that were stacked. So I would imagine that there are 2 other pillars. One that contained these 3 that we met here, and there is still one other pillar out there. So yeah, I think that's what they're trying to go for. They tried to make it... It's a bit confusing with them saying, like, okay, well, one of these is San Viento, but I don't think that's actually true. I think that's just what they theorized. So there's at least... I believe there's 2 other pillars, and this one had 3 people on it. So, yeah. Going back to the fight between Caesar Zeppeli and Joseph, I wrote down the soap bubbles. I thought that was very clever. Having a layer of soap on your clothes at all time, I don't know, that's a little weird, but using that as a hormone attack I think is pretty cool. So I do like that. And then it was interesting having kind of like a hormone puppet basically with the girl. I thought that was very clever too, infusing her with hormone and then having her go attack JoJo. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I did like, JoJo also one-upping him with the pigeon too. So that was really good. Him one-upping Caesar with the pigeon, because it shows how, brilliant JoJo is when it comes to, strategy and attacks. He just is lacking in skill and power right now. So yeah. I wrote down Mark. Poor Mark. As soon as he said, like, oh, next week I'm going home to get married, it's like, well, he's dead. There's just no getting around that, So, yeah. Mark is dead. Oh, well. And, yeah, so we have 3 new pillar men who are possibly even more powerful than San Viento.
The men have awoken with such massive power that we barely even exist to them. We may as well be nothing more than a colony of ants beneath their feet.
It appears to be
Cars with a K. Wamu with 2 U's. Oh. Okay, so yeah, the way they spell AC/DC is obviously not just AC/DC. They basically spelled it phonetically, which is clever. And Wamu has 2 U's and Cars starts with a K. All right. I don't understand the names Wamu and Cars. AC/DC is very obvious to understand. But the 3 of them are interesting. Definitely interesting villains. I like that they are kind of different. I think it was Wamu who, went through and fused all the Germans' hands together and then just drained them. I thought that was pretty clever. And he also has this shadow, this instinctive shadow. Anyone who crosses his shadow is hit with basically a reflexive attack, which is pretty interesting. And they also say here they're looking for the whereabouts of the Red Stone of Asia. Asia, okay.
Is the last piece we need in order to complete the mask. Then we will unleash its power.
So they have a mask. They have a mask that requires a jewel, the red stone, in order to work, which is interesting. Whereas San Viento just had masks. So I'm curious as to what that is going to be. And, they said in the past it was the Roman Emperor that had the red stone, but the Roman Empire is gone, so who has it now? So that's interesting. I'm wondering, if we're going to... I mean, obviously, Caesar is going to try to fight them now, but it seems honestly like we need more of a quest to go find this red stone before they do. So, and, that's the thing. It's like, oh, well, can we just let them, roam about? But, I mean, Dio did that too for a little while, Dio, went and took over an entire town, So, it would be interesting if that sort of happened again, where now we have to go on this quest to go find the red stone, hopefully before they do. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I wrote down for this episode. It's a good episode. We, were introduced to Caesar Zeppeli and our new villains. And it's interesting that, there are multiples of them, and, some of them are subservient to others, and one of them is named AC/DC, and it's spelled ESIDISI. I thought that's pretty clever. So yeah, I am curious to see where we are going, but that is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon or follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.